Welcome into Kingston Stadium, everyone, as the Iowa Phoenix here on the road to take on the Cedar Raptors in the second of the home-away series this season. The Phoenix coming in 3-1, fresh off a win over the Minnesota Minx in their last matchup. The Raptors 0-4 on the season, having dropped their games in considerable fashion, to be honest, to begin this year. It has been a tough season for the Raptors scoring-wise this season, as they lost that game on the road against Iowa 42-8 back on May 10th. Their last game, a 50-0 loss to the Sioux Falls Snow Leopards, who are also off to a strong start this season. Iowa's one loss this year to that same Snow Leopards team, but an 18-14 win over the Minx last week, able to get them back in the win column. I'm Tyler French, coming to you live here from the press box at Kingston Stadium. Alongside me today is Liam Weber, and our camera operator and producer is Gary French. But we are excited for another big WFA matchup here on Pardon My French Media.
Yeah, it should be a very intense matchup here. Just the second season of existence for the Cedar Raptors, and you know they're building their program up, and they're going to look to slow down a Phoenix offense that has been off to a roaring start to the season, averaging 333 yards per game. It will be intense, and hopefully the defense is up to the task.
The main storyline for the Phoenix coming into this one has been the growth of quarterback Grace Francis. Had a huge performance against the Raptors earlier this season, going for 292 yards and 4 touchdowns along with an interception. They're going to need some more of that from her today and moving forward as they look towards a potential playoff berth for the first time in a couple years.
And I think something that's really helped out with Francis's development is, you know, that continued support from the receiver group. Shannon Christensen still playing. Larissa Mikulik has been really good. Kira Fisk, a new addition, has also been very productive. 4 touchdown receptions for her. And also the consistency in the backfield. Crystal Peterson having a phenomenal season, already up to 552 yards this year, 7.7 yards per carry with a 78-yarder on her tally.
Yeah, and one of the big things, she is already close to breaking her own program record for rushing yards in the season, already owns the career mark for rushing yards, carries, and touchdowns as well. The Phoenix will be without starting tight end September Dale, potentially for the rest of the season, so that could be a big blow, one of their best pass catchers for the team this year. But overall, this team has a lot of very strong play outside, and it has been sparked by the growth of Mikulik as a receiver, but also their new addition, Kira Fisk, currently top 5 in WFA Division III with 4 touchdown catches on the season.
As it appears that either the Raptors won and chose to receive, or the Phoenix won and chose to defer to the second half. Either way, it'll be the defense starting off first for the Phoenix.
As Iowa's defense has been extremely strong. Their only game allowing more than 15 points came in that 46-6 loss to the Midwest Mountain Lions, who had a big bounce-back win at home. Iowa got the better of them in Week 1, 28-7 over the Mountain Lions. But last week, a 18-14 win over the Minx, and now look to pick up another win here on the road against the Cedar Raptors. They'll be back at home next week for the regular season finale against the Oklahoma Rage. It'll be Tiffany Schott kicking things off for the Phoenix. As we are officially underway, this one will bounce around the 30-yard line and eventually be picked up. It'll be a short return of about 5 yards. A couple penalty flags do fly.
Looks like it could have been a holding call there on the receiving team. As we'll wait to hear what the call is. It's an illegal block in the back against the Raptors. So that'll put starting quarterback Melissa Stockwell-Gregson back in her own territory as it's Gregson that leads this offense.
0 touchdowns, 11 interceptions on the season. The Phoenix got a couple of them off of her in that Week 3 matchup. Main back is Brianna Berry for the Raptors. 1st and 10 coming up with 14:54 left here in the first quarter. Stockwell-Gregson with a pair of backs, including Noble in the backfield. They'll send someone in motion. That's former Phoenix Bridget Karsten. Handoff going to the left side of the line. Tries to cut it back up the middle. And a good push from the offensive line. Going to get about 5 yards up to the 25 where she's eventually brought down. Phoenix defense gave up a couple of strong drives against the Raptors in that first matchup of the season, including a strong opening drive that ended up in no points on a missed field goal. And then really shut down the Raptors the rest of the game. Brianna Berry had a big carry that ended up going for a touchdown. 24 yards, her long of the season. It'll be an I formation under center for Stockwell-Gregson this time, and there's going to be an early timeout called by the Raptors. So first timeout of the game for them. We'll step away and take one as well. Second and 5 from the 25-yard line for the Raptors out of the timeout. I formation for Cedar Rapids. Handoff to the far back, and it's Berry with another big run. A great stiff arm against Crystal Peterson before she's brought down. A gain of 22. One of the longest runs for the Raptors all season.
Yeah, just opened up a hole on that opposite side. Looked like it was Christensen coming off the edge on a bit of a backward blitz. Just wrong place, wrong time, great run.
Megan Bush into the game along the defensive line. One of her first games back from injury since leaving early in week 1. Moving inside to defensive tackle, was playing at D-end early in the season, but going to need some extra depth in the middle as Stockwell-Gregson going to roll out under pressure, delivers this one, and it is caught for a first down and more. Off to the races, Alexis Spittner. Shot cannot catch her, and that is going to be a Cedar Rapids touchdown. What a play for the Raptors. A 53-yard touchdown for the Raptors.
As they're going to go for 2 here. Just a nice simple pass over the middle to number 16, Zane Nelson. And just took off. Not able to catch her was Tiffany Schott. Just a huge, huge break here for the Raptors. They looked for something early and they got it.
The offense will stay out there first. Touchdown of the season thrown by Stockwell-Gregson. They'll line up in the I formation. Defense gives up a big play, longest play of the season for the Raptors. Hand off to Berry, cuts it back up the middle, and that will be good, making it 8-0 after the first drive.
Yeah, and 2 huge plays, one from Berry, another one coming from the quarterback, Stockwell-Gregson. The exact start that the Raptors needed in this game. Now it's up to the defense to see if they can shut down the offense of the Phoenix.
And the Phoenix, a dual threat offense. We've talked already about both Francis and of the play on the ground for Crystal Peterson. They're going to need some help after playing from behind here on the road to begin this season. One of the first leads the Raptors have had all season, and it comes off a huge play in the passing game.
Gonna have to see how Francis responds with the offense. Christensen always gonna be that number one option. Crystal Peterson in the backfield gonna be another one.
Nelson will come to kick this one out fresh off the touchdown. Back deep to return is Schott and Fisk. .05 left here in the first quarter. The Raptors, they took that early timeout and then back-to-back big plays. Get them in the end zone. 2-point conversion good as well. This one taken right around the 40-yard line by Christensen. Trying to step it outside, and she'll be taken down just over the 40-yard line. And that is where Francis and this offense will come out. Francis has been a little turnover happy over the last couple of games. A total of 4 interceptions thrown after starting the year with a couple of very strong performances.
Yeah, 763 yards through the air on 42.7 completion percentage. And then started the season with a very nice start, less turnovers, as we mentioned. A little bit more turnover happy, but looking to see if it's a bounce back game here against the Raptors.
Shannon Christensen, who missed the game against the Midwest Mountain Lions due to a knee injury, has been back in the lineup last week against the Minks, so good to have her back out there. But mentioned before, they are without September Dale, one of their best pass catchers. Shotgun formation here. It'll be a pitch out to Peterson trying to get the outside. She's got a 5-yard carry up to 10, and she'll be driven out of bounds after a run for about 16.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful blocking job on the outside by Mikulek. Manages to drive the defender back to around the 40 before they got off the block, and that's about when they were catching up to Peterson on that sideline.
So 1st and 10 from the opposing 40 now. Was that 15 or 20? Did we start on 40 or 45?
45, so it was about a 15-yard carry.
1st and 10 after the play. They'll go to a pitch to the other side this time. Good blocking out in front, but a good recovery from the second level by Rachel Daly, the Raptors All-American. Goes for a gain of about 3.
Great block on the edge by Emily Nordstrom.
So 2 plays have both gone to Crystal Peterson. Been a workhorse back for them over the last couple of seasons in her 4th year with the Phoenix. Missed most of her rookie year with a broken foot, but since then has been an All-American multiple times as Mikulek and Fisk split out on the left side. The shotgun again here, and they'll run the same play, pitching it out to Peterson. She's up to the 30. It actually chopped down just shy of the 30, as that will make it 3rd and 1.
It's a great play out there. Great tackle by Anique Adams.
4-down territory here for the Phoenix with 11:10 left here in the first quarter. Trailing 8-0 after a big first drive for the Raptors, punctuated by the 53-yard catch and run by Nelson. Shannon Christensen is not lined up yet on this offensive possession.
Actually lined up at left tackle.
And it looks like there's going to be a false start called here against the Phoenix, so that will back them up. That'll cost them 5 yards. I don't know if they have Christensen just playing more at tight end as a potential offensive threat. Either way, we've yet to see her go out really in the passing game, a deep threat for the Phoenix every single year, approaching 300 yards on the season.
Is again lining up at that tackle position. Tight end on the near side.
They go out to Christensen on the pitch again. Gets up to the 30, and that will be a first down, and she is taken out of bounds around the 27. Gain of 8 on the play.
Tackle made by number 2, Elizabeth Stark.
Play goes for 10. So first and 10 now at the 27. Fourth carry of the game for Peterson, just under 30 yards for her so far. Excuse me, she's at 34 yards for the game. As this time, Francis is going to drop back, delivers over the middle, no one there. First incomplete pass of the game. They'll make it now 2nd and 10 from the 27.
Looks like that was intended for Mikulek, but just not enough on it.
It does appear they did bring in a new left tackle. Team getting Nikki Dara back. She's lined up on that O-line.
Christensen in the slot.
9:46 left here in the first quarter. It'll be a handoff to Peterson. Good hole up the middle, but it closed in a hurry. Gain of just 2 up to the 25.
Great job by Ariel Spitzner.
And there's going to be an injury timeout. The clock will stop. We'll take a short break as well. Third and 7 coming up for the Phoenix. After the gain of just 2, and that is going to draw another whistle. And that's going to be the second false start called against Iowa. That'll make it about 3rd and 12 now.
Got to see what you can get open here. Already going past. Let's see what they decide to do here. If they just want to try and get some yards back and try to pin them deep, or if it's going to be a bit more of a throw over the top, see if they can beat them up there.
So 3rd and 13 after the penalty. Three wide set with Christensen lined up in the slot on the far side. Francis gets the snap, looking over to the left side, has Christensen, but overthrows her, and that'll bring up 4th and forever.
Yeah, just a little bit wide of the mark there. Had a very big opportunity to get it to 4th and short, but instead we're here at 4th and long. Ball at the 30.
Francis has struggled a little bit in the short to intermediate throwing over the last season plus. It's the long ball that Iowa has really succeeded on with her under center. They'll line up in a similar formation, but this time Fisk flipping to the other side.
Crowd getting loud here. See what Francis pulls up.
Raptors looking to force the turnover on downs. Francis dropping back. Looking for Fisk over the top. It is knocked down as that one falls incomplete. And it will be a change of possession.
Great job over the top by Jada Hernandez, looks like.
0-3. 0-4-3 so far on the game for the Phoenix quarterback. As the Raptors will take over 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line. Crystal Peterson got the drive started with a couple of nice gains, but got stopped, and then 3 straight incomplete passes. Punctuated as well with the couple of false starts. And now the Raptors back in possession. I formation, they'll hand this one off to Noble. She is dragged down at the line of scrimmage by Jessica White. They'll give her a yard on the carry. Alyssa Noble with her 2nd carry. They'll bring up 2nd and 9 now. Raptors leading 8-0 with under 8.5 left in the 1st quarter. Second matchup of the season between these two. Another I formation setup. Noble the lead back with Barry behind. Be a short pass out to Nelson. Makes the catch, steps out of the tackle as Nelson may be turning into a weapon here for the Raptors. She makes the catch, and it'll be 3rd and 4 after the gain of 5.
Yeah, great job there on the screen. It was nice and quick. Didn't give the Phoenix any time to set up for it. And now it will be a 3rd and manageable here with plenty of time on the clock and great field position.
Alicia Scott coming in at the right defensive end spot. See if she can bring some more speed off the edge. Third and 4 here. Shotgun formation. 2 back setup. They have Carson going in motion. Be a pitch out to her. And she's going to be dragged down. Big loss on the play.
Also a flag out there as well. See what the call is here. Could be a holding. I'd expect the Phoenix to decline that if it is, in fact.
As of right now, it would be 4th and 12.
As maybe they picked up the flag.
So flag waved off, and that will bring Nelson out to punt it away. Kira Fisk back deep to return. A nice play by the defense. As this one goes off the side of the foot and will be great field position for the Phoenix. Goes out at the 42-yard line of Cedar Rapids.
Got to wonder what they're going to try and do here. Trying to set up Grace Francis here, trying to get at least a completion on the board for her so that, get some confidence back up in and see if she can get another deep ball, because that first one that ended their first drive, it was right there. It was just a great play by the safety over the top.
As we know, this offense, some big play potential. Crystal Peterson with a long of 78 yards. Shannon Christensen, Kira Fisk, and Mikulek all with catches for over 50 yards on the season as well. Just over 6 minutes left here in the first quarter. Off to the left side, it's a gain of 10 and more inside the 30. As Wasty coming in trying to get an extra block. That will be a gain of, it looks like, 13. Down to the 28. Give her 14 officially. So 1st and 10 now for the Phoenix as their offense looks to get rolling here. It's about where the drive stalled last time with the ball. Looking to get a score on the board and a 2-point conversion to try and tie it up. Mikulek and Christensen come to the near side. Fisk over on the far side of the field. Peterson is the back. Another handoff to Peterson up the middle. Gets down inside the 20, so gets the Phoenix into the red zone with another 8-yard carry.
Yeah, great job there. They're continuing to get those big holes open for Peterson.
We had 5 minutes left in the first quarter. The Phoenix still trailing 8-0. 2nd and 2 from the 20-yard line coming up. This is where having a target like Kira Fisk definitely helps. An athletic, tall receiver for the Phoenix. The recent Carlisle High School graduate. Almost getting the Raptors to jump off sides. Francis rolls to the right, delivers this one wide open, and that's a touchdown for Iowa. Shannon Christensen from 20 yards. A huge play there for Iowa. First completion of the game for the Phoenix, and it goes for 20 yards and the score.
Yeah, I think that's just busted coverage there. I think it might have been a zone coverage set. Just left the zone and left a completely wide open Christensen. She does not drop those.
And probably the player you can at least afford to leave wide open. And now the Phoenix, a 2-point conversion away from tying this one up.
Peterson's got to be involved in this play somehow. And she is on a play action. QB keeper.
Francis, a lot of strength, able to bully her way in. Makes it 8-8. So with 4:28 remaining here in the first quarter, Iowa's offense comes alive. 22 yards on that possession for Crystal Peterson, and then a 20-yard pitch and catch. Shannon Christensen does the rest to tie this one up.
Yeah, it looks like we have an injury in the end zone. Could have been the player that helped Francis get in the end zone.
As it's Nikki Dara able to get to her knees. One of her first games of the season, so hopefully just a cramping issue, but appears to be running off her own power. The Dara family, a huge part of the Phoenix. Demario Dara, the new head coach of Iowa, has had a huge turnaround season for them. 3-1, looking to pick up win number 4 on the season.
Yeah, an excellent drive there. A lot of usage out of Peterson, and that's what they have to do here. Establish that run game. Make sure that you can use the play action to your advantage. And then put one up over the top like they did on that last drive. Executed to absolute perfection.
4:28 left in the first quarter. Shot will come out to kick this one away. Shot keeps this one short. It will stay inbounds. It was recovered by Anique Adams. Brought down after a short gain. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the Raptors' 41-yard line. They will move it up officially now to the 42, 8-8 as the Phoenix tie this one up. The Raptors get the ball back after going 3 and out on their last drive.
Yeah, first drive of the game, obviously a huge one for the Raptors, a tone setter. Last time out, they couldn't quite get what they wanted. They tried to go with a reverse pass. It was covered up beautifully, not biting on it at all were the Phoenix. So that's what ended their last drive. So we'll see what they can come up with here, try to get some of that momentum back.
Carson in the slot will be a handoff right up the middle. Barry met with a big hit on a gain of just 3.
That's great job there by Christensen.
It'll be 2nd and 7 now coming up from the 45. Skill position players for the Raptors lining up on the last couple of plays. Rachel Daly and Zane Nelson, the 2 wide receivers. Nelson, the recipient of that 53-yard catch and run. Daly, an All-American last year at linebacker, had a couple of huge plays in this game in Cedar Rapids last season. They'll pitch this one out for Barry, but the play is blown dead with 3:40. And I wonder if this is going to be another false start, but this time going the opposite way. And that will be the case. So that'll back up the offense 5 yards to the 40-yard line.
2nd and 12 here. And clock will roll.
We saw penalties kill that first drive for the Phoenix back earlier in the quarter. See how the Raptors bounce back after getting a decent play on 1st down. Clarissa Smith moves to the right side to blitz off the edge. In the I formation, Barry. This one in and out of the hands of Turner. It falls incomplete as the Phoenix about got an interception deep in enemy territory. That'll make it 3rd and 12.
Yeah, that could have gone for 6 as well. Got to be able to hang on to that one. Obviously, just not expecting it to come right at the numbers of Katie Turner. So, opportunity missed, but it is a huge 3rd and long. Phoenix have to hold up here and go take the lead back.
And there's good pressure up front. I believe it was Clarissa Smith getting in on the play. Zaria White comes in at defensive tackle as well for the Phoenix. One of the newcomers to the team this year, a rookie.
Smith will split out to that right side again to blitz.
Stockwell Gregson, good protection up front, delivers this one over. Wide open is Karsten. She'll get to the 50 and will be down just shy of the marker, it looks like. So that'll bring up 4th and 1. There's definitely some confusion for the chain gang right now.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out where to go.
As it's going to be 4th and 1 at the Iowa 49 with 2.5 left in the quarter. So Stockwell Gregson completes another one. Bridget Carson, the former Phoenix, able to make a big play for 11. Phoenix.
Corner on the far side, playing very far off, but it's going to be a handoff anyways, and that's a big hole.
Barry bounces it outside. She's got the 1st down and more. 1st and 10 for the Raptors. As that'll reset the chains. Anna Barry gets up to the 42-yard line. Raptors have yet to have a game this season with multiple scores. Looking to change that on this drive. 1st and 10 from the opposing 42-yard line. Shotgun formation, Daly out on the left side, Carson in the slot, Nelson in at receiver on the far side of the field. Hand this one off to Barry again. Good push up front. Steps out of the Kushner tackle. And as of right now, it stands as a 7-yard gain. But there is a penalty flag that flies. Could be in the area of holding right near the original line of scrimmage.
That would be my guess. They'll move it up a couple yards.
And it will be a holding call against the Raptors. Should back them up, I believe, to 1st and 18. It'll mark it officially back to the 50. So they did give them those couple yards upfield. So now officially 1st and 18. Negates a good run there from Barry. 2 receivers here on the left side of the formation. Stockwell Gregson will deliver a pass this time. Over the top. It is in and out of the hands and dropped by Nelson. So originally was going to be a 2nd and 3 after the penalty and incomplete pass. It is now 2nd and 18. And let's see if that penalty is what kills this drive.
I think it kind of has to be at this point. I mean, you have to pick up at least 10 yards here, in my opinion, to make it.
Still 3rd and long, but at least a little bit more manageable. So 2nd and 18 now from the 50. In the shotgun again, Stockwell Gregson. Be a pitch out this time on the carry. It is Lizzie Stark, and she's going the wrong way. Loss of 7 back to the 43-yard line.
Now you got to hope for another huge play here from either Bayana Berry or from Zane Nelson from Melissa Stockwell Gregson. You don't know what you have here until you see what you're presented with on defense.
This next play could be the last one here of the first quarter. 35 seconds left in the first. Need to get to the opposing 32-yard line to convert. A 7-yard gain on 1st down negated due to the penalty, and then a loss of 7 in the backfield on 2nd down. Down to 15, and that is, I think, going to be a timeout.
No, flag was tossed, and it's a delay of game.
I was wondering, we don't have a play clock up here, but could definitely tell it was getting low, so that'll be another 5 yards tacked on. So 3rd and 30 now. Stockwell Gregson hands this one off. It'll be a gain of about 4, it looks like. Nope, give him 3 officially. And that will be the last play of the first quarter. Lizzie Humple on the carry, gain of just 3. It'll be 4th and 27 when we come back. Punt gotten off here by the Raptors, goes out of bounds. And it'll be 1st and 10 here for Iowa. As it looks like they will continue marking it up. Went out at the 35, but they'll move it up to the 43. As Nelson's punt goes for less than 20 yards net. So 1st and 10 for Iowa as they look for their first lead of the game. 14:52 left in the first half. It was a 20-yard pass over the top for Shannon Christensen. Got them their first score. Tia Wasty will line up in the slot as the tight end. Lone back is Peterson. She'll get the carry on the right side. Good blocking out there. Cuts it back upfield. Up to the 50, and she is spun down. Good tackle there. Gain of 9 on the play.
Peterson is slicing her way through the Raptor defense. Looking to see if she can get another big game on her ledger for the season. Maybe looking to break her single season record in today's game.
67 yards for her on the game. On 8 carries, so averaging over 8 yards a tote here so far in this one. 2nd and 1. And that's going to be a penalty flag that flies. And that's going to be a false start against Iowa. Already, I believe, the 5th false start between the two teams so far.
Yeah, just a few miscues here and there.
I feel like these refs can't count.
Yeah,
We've seen a lot of problems marking the football here so far.
Yeah, maybe he thought it was a 10-yard penalty for a second.
Not sure. Either way, 2nd and 6 for Iowa. Francis dropping back, delivers this one over the side, falls incomplete. Intended receiver was Christensen, breaking out to the sideline. And that'll bring up 3rd and 6 now.
Just a little bit too far out front. Has struggled with that a little bit today on those sideline passes.
Francis now 1 for 5 on the day for 20 yards, but that one play was the touchdown that got Iowa on the board. They'll split Fisk alone here on the near side. Christensen in the slot. Mikulek out wide with Wasty in at tight end. Ball on the ground, and that is just going to be a kneel down by Francis to avoid any negative play outside of just taking the yardage. So that'll be a loss of 5. So we'll see what the decision is here for Iowa. They have gone for it on a lot of plays like that this season. As it stands right now, would be 4th and 11 for the offense.
Need to try and get something potentially up. I mean, you have to get the first down. It's 4th down. But would love to see something over the top that could potentially go all the way to the end zone and get some confidence back into Grace Francis.
Sideline trying to fire up this crowd. Tiffany Shelton and Sarah Stockwell-Gregson getting the crowd pumped up. As Francis will drop back, 4th down. Looking to go over the top, has Fisk. In and out of the hands of the rookie. And that will be a turnover on downs. She would have been gone for a 56-yard touchdown, and she'll be kicking herself for that play.
Yeah, and it's exactly what I was saying. I mean, trying to go for that first down and more. That ball's caught. That's so much more confidence for Francis. That's so much more confidence for the offense in general. But now it's a huge opportunity here for the Raptors in enemy territory to start the drive. It's a huge miscue for the rookie.
1st and 10 for the Raptors, and she may have been, caught from behind on that, but at the very least would have been the first down and moving the ball into Raptors territory, if not ending in a score. So now the defense will try and force another 3 and out. We've seen the Raptors find some success offensively, already more points than they've had in any other game this season. Or at least tied for their highest amount with 8 on the board. 12:57 left in the first half. This one going to be a handoff on the right side for Barry. Manning can't get the tackle. And a great stiff arm, but fighting through it and coming up with the tackle is Shannon Christensen. 2 flags fly on this play. It would be a 5-yard carry, pending what the penalty is, and it looks like they're backing up the offense. Probably another hold.
Yeah, it looks like it, and that's just unfortunate. So many miscues on huge carries by Barry.
They'll lose 10 yards on this play to bring up 2nd and 20. 1st and 20, excuse me. Penalties caused the last drive for each team to stall out. First and 20 from their own 48-yard line. Another handoff to Barry, goes on the left side this time. And she's going to be pushed out of bounds. Looks like a gain of about 4 on first down.
Great job by Tiffany Schott there, getting to the play in time, finding a way to maybe not even wrap up the runner, but, you know, sticking with it even through the stiff arm and forcing it out of bounds. Keeps it at a 2nd and long.
They will move it up to the 46-yard line, so it'll be a gain of 6. Second and 14 now. So back in Iowa territory again, and that should be a false start. They'll blow the play dead. Right tackle was already blocking before that play got off. So another negative penalty going the Raptors' way. It'll be now 2nd and 19 from their own 49. So the Raptors offense comes back to the line of scrimmage. 3 plays, but 2 penalties so far. Another run up the middle. This one, I believe, either went to Lizzie Stark or Ramira Lacey. It is Stark on the carry. Gain of 3. Need to get to the Phoenix 32-yard line to convert. Regained most of those 5 yards they lost due to the penalty, but losing it down in the process as well.
It's the same situation you put yourself in on the Phoenix offense. Need to find something over the top, try to get this offense back in rhythm, back into the scoring mindset.
See if they look to go to the air on this play. They will. Stockwell Gregson rolling to the right side, thrown over the top. It is caught by Stark. And she's going to be marked down at the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th and 10. Gain of 5 on the play, up to the 42. And it looks like they will be bringing out Bridget Karsten to punt this one away. Kira Fisk will be back deep to return for Iowa. Just over 10 minutes left here in the first half. Iowa had the one good drive, but have failed to consistently string plays together. As they're going to run a fake here. Carson over the top, and it's going to fall incomplete. As Whitney Schrader, the intended receiver, would have been very close to a first down. Instead, it is going to be a turnover on downs back to Iowa.
Yeah, interesting play call there, going with the fake punt.
Almost had the intended result, too.
Yeah, it was a good throw. It's just, not I overran it. Is the word I would use for Schrader. Just ran past the throw, tried to come back to it, had to try to fall to her knees to catch it, just couldn't quite get back to it in time.
And one of the things they did is that they were signaling Schrader to come off. So she came to the sideline and was able to leak out completely wide open. Better throw, could have potentially ended up in a touchdown. Instead, it is 1st and 10 for the Phoenix. From our own 42, Francis pitched this one out to the right side for Peterson. Good blocking. She's up past the 45, and she'll be brought down for a gain of 5 on the carry.
Yeah, so many good carries on these pitch plays. Just a good job by the offensive line to leak out, get blocks in that second level, open things up on the initial level, and keep going past it.
72 yards on 9 carries for the game so far for Crystal Peterson. Goes over 600 yards for the season. More than likely going to end up breaking her team record for rushing yards in a season before today is done. As Francis will go to her on the left side this time. Trying to get the edge, cuts it back upfield. She's to the 45, 40, and Nelson will spin her out of bounds and stop the clock with 8:54. They'll mark her down, I believe, officially around the 38-yard line. As I believe that play went for 15.
Looks about right, yeah.
Tenth carry of the game, now up to 87 yards for the contest. Now 1st and 10.
See if they just go back to the well of Crystal Peterson.
Francis in the shotgun, Peterson to her right, and they will. Able to cut it back up, step inside of a tackle, goes 0 for 2, do the Raptors. And that'll be a gain of about 7.
Crystal Peterson putting on a performance that looks like prime Adrian Peterson.
Looking to go over the century mark here in the first half. Under 8 minutes left in this second quarter. As both offenses have put a strong drive together, punctuated by a big play. Led to a touchdown on each side. And a timeout on the field will stop the clock. As Iowa going to use their first timeout. We'll take a short break ourselves and be right back. Second and 3 for Iowa coming out of the timeout. We are live here from Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids, home of the Cedar Raptors, playing host to the Phoenix here today. Game tied 8-8. As Francis looks to the right side, has Mikulek wide open. It's caught! Down inside the 5. That one goes for 25 yards.
Yeah, great throw there. Maybe a little bit underthrown, but still a beautiful pass directly into the arms of Mikulek.
Just the second completion of the game. So it'll be 1st and goal from the 3-yard line as Iowa tries to add a punctuation mark, an exclamation point to this drive. Christensen will line up to the left of the formation. They'll pitch this one out, and that's going to be a 3-yard carry for Peterson. She is into the end zone. Iowa takes their first lead of the game.
Yeah, and that play was all Crystal Peterson up until that throw to Mikulek. Sets up Peterson with a really easy touchdown run. Took a hit at the end of it, but it was a good, clean play.
7th touchdown of the season for the mother of 4 and a starting running back for the Iowa Phoenix. Francis in the offense will stay out there for a 2-point attempt. 3 receivers in the formation, along with Wasty in at tight end. Francis will drop back, but there is going to be a penalty flag that flies, I believe a false start.
Couldn't really see who it was on, but...
So I'll back them up 5 yards. Iowa with their first lead of the game. See if the play call changes here at all. Over the top, looking for Fisk. Can't come down with it. Little overthrown. And that will be the end of the Phoenix drive, but they get another touchdown up on the board, 58 yards on the drive, including a 25-yard catch by Larissa Mikulek to get the Iowa offense inside the 5, and Crystal Peterson does the rest with her first touchdown of the game, up to 97 yards on the evening.
Yeah, it's been a really, really nice comeback performance after that first drive from the Raptors. Defense has been doing great, shutting things down. The offense, after struggling their first drive, have managed to come back and continuously put up good plays. Crystal Peterson obviously has been amazing, almost hitting the century mark here with plenty of time left to go in the first half to potentially hit that mark and go over. Defense going to look for a quick 3-and-out here, which is always hard when you have Bayana Berry on the other side.
Shot will come out to kick this one away. Kicks have gone for around 25 to 30 yards each attempt so far. This one right down the middle. Takes a bounce, and it is grabbed by Nelson around the 33-yard line. We'll get up to the 45 and just north of the 45 before she is brought down. And it'll be Cedar Raptors ball. 2 timeouts on the board for them. 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line coming up. Playing from behind for the first time today, they'll look to try and get back in the scoring column. They went for it on 4th down last time and unable to put anything together. Since that first drive, they have been killed by penalties.
Yeah, it's been really sloppy since that first drive. That first drive was incredible from them. Huge carries from Bayana Berry and Zane Nelson having that huge reception that she took herself.
They'll hand this one off to, looks like, Berry up the middle. Lunges forward, and actually I believe that is Lizzie Humple. Gain of 6. So 2nd and 4. So 2nd and 4 now inside of Phoenix territory. Big key here, no penalties on this possession as Humple is still the far back. Nelson and Daly split out on the left side of the formation.
Barry getting a much-needed breather still on the sideline. Much deserved as well. So that could have also been a false start.
Humple on the right side, eventually brought down by Turner, but it will move the chains down to the 40-yard line. Gain of 8 on the carry, and they're going to run a hurry-up offense here. Turn, hand this one off to Humple again. Good push up front. Raptors offensive line winning at the point of attack. That carry goes for 13 down to the 27-yard line. And there's going to be a timeout on the field called by the Phoenix. That is their 2nd of the game. We'll take a short break and be right back, but the Raptors are driving. First and 10 from the opposing 27-yard line for the Raptors. They'll hand this one off. It's time to Barry. Steps out of a couple of tackles and is eventually brought down. Wasty on the stop. Goes up to the 21. Gain of 6. As the Phoenix defense getting pushed around up front. As they're going to bring almost an entirely new defensive line in. And that's going to be a penalty for too many players on the field. As another penalty flag flies. Shot able to come up with the tackle at the line of scrimmage. We'll see if this is offsetting penalties or not.
Yeah, that's just, Shot's been doing a great job coming up from the linebacker / safety position to make plays against Barry, bringing her down.
Yep, illegal substitution against Iowa. Too many players on the field, and that is going to be a free first down, negating what was a nice defensive stop. That'll put the Raptors inside the red zone for the first time. 1st and 10 from the 16. Phoenix hoping they can force a turnover here as they have struggled to stop the run on this drive. Barry and Noble, the two backs. And a penalty flag going to fly again. Wonder if this might be an illegal formation against the Raptors. Nope, they will pick the flag up and wave it off. And it's going to be a direct snap over to Adams. Looks to get outside. Shot with a big shot, and Wasty going to ride her out of bounds. Gain of about 9 on the play. What a drive here for the Raptors late in the first half.
Yeah, this is exactly what they needed to do. They needed to get onto the field and really push things around.
Arguably the best the Raptors have looked all season. 2nd and 1 from inside the 10. Ball marked at the 7-yard line.
Adams again lines up in the Wildcat.
Stockwell Gregson here on the near side of the field. She'll take it on the right side this time. Couldn't quite get the corner, but continues to push through. It takes 3 different defenders to eventually bring her down, a gain of 2. And that'll be enough for the first. They'll actually mark her all the way up to the 2-yard line.
As injury on the field.
As the Raptors will get an injury timeout here. We'll take a short break ourselves and be right back. First and goal from the 2-yard line as the Raptors trying to finish out this drive with a score. They're going to bring in a lineup right at the line of scrimmage and try and push this one forward for the score. And they will do just that, as not much pushback from Iowa. And that will be a touchdown. Stockwell Gregson right up the middle. Ties this one up at 14 pending the extra point. As the Raptors put together a great drive, go 55 yards for the touchdown.
And it looks like they're lining up same formation for the 2-point.
It worked once. Offensive line has been winning at the point of attack all game. And no, it came out at the end as Mikulak scoops it up, and this could be a scoop and score. That'll be 2 points back the other way as Mikulak's going to go 100 yards on the fumble return and pick up 2 points for Iowa.
Wow. Great awareness from Mikulak, seeing the ball out, getting away from the quarterback, Gregson, and then taking it the entire length of the field. Not much chase given.
So Mikulak with the huge play gets Iowa the lead right back. And the Phoenix will get the ball back with 3:41 left in the half. Still 1 timeout on the board for them. So we'll see if they can go to the passing attack. 2 for 6 on the game for 45 yards and a touchdown is Grace Francis. As Nelson will bring the ball out to kick it away again. What a change of events right there. Not something you see very often. Sometimes they call it the pick 2 when it's an interception. But Larissa Mikulak with a big play for Iowa. Had the reception that set up the last touchdown as well. Her first score of the season. Nelson will come back out to kick this one away. Shot and Fisk back deep to return. Nice high kick that Fisk will come over to around the 31 and take. Steps out of the first tackle. She's up to the 50 and will go out of bounds right around the 48-yard line. So the Phoenix will get great starting field position. Still have some time that if they want to still keep the ball on the ground. Defense has struggled to stop Crystal Peterson approaching the century mark here as they will mark it at the 50. Iowa at the very least hoping to go into the half with the lead as they are up 16-14, 3:34 on the clock. Let's put a couple receivers out here on the left side. And that's going to be a penalty flag on the first play.
Yeah, that's rough. I think it's just miscommunication on the snap count potentially. And it'll be another penalty to start a drive. The Phoenix need to kind of avoid that.
It is now 1st and 15 with 3:34 left to go.
As that's got to be one of the big things that is brought up in the halftime meeting and halftime adjustments. You got to cut down on the penalties. It's killing both sides of the ball for the offenses.
Christensen hustles out here to the near side of the field. Fisk out wide right. They're going to pitch it out to Peterson. Runs right into the defense there, and her former teammate comes up with the 1-yard stop. That'll be a loss on the play.
Yeah, ran right into the teeth of the defense. Carson was there and ready. Managed to shed the block to the inside. Thought that Peterson thought that she was going to still have that outside leverage due to Nikki Dara being out there, but no dice.
So they will give her forward momentum back to the line of scrimmage as the clock ticks down under 3 minutes left here in the first half. See if Iowa just kind of tries to play clock ball and at least take a lead into halftime. Christensen and Fisk on the near side. Francis will drop back. 2 receivers on the near side, looking to take the top off. And that one's intercepted. It's Nelson. And she'll go out of bounds inside the 45. Francis was coming up trying to lay a big hit. That is the 6th interception thrown on the season by the Phoenix quarterback. And now the Raptors 2 timeouts and 2.5 minutes to work with. Well, 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line of Iowa.
Yeah, and Francis there just looking for the deep play to Christensen and just a little bit underthrown, a little bit too much hang time on it. And it just lands directly in the hands of Zane Nelson, having a huge day on the field.
53-yard touchdown catch. And a timeout going to be called. That is going to be the last one for Iowa. So if they're able to force a turnover, they will have no timeouts left on the offensive side. We'll take a short break and come right back after this. Iowa uses their third and final timeout off the interception. The Raptors looking to put one late score and see if they can take the lead back going into halftime. Already the most points scored for them in a game this season. Hand this one off and tripped up and falling forward for a gain of just one looked like Barry on the play.
Won't even give her one. They'll say she fell down at the line of scrimmage.
Clock continues to run. Stockwell Gregson will lead a hurry-up offense here. High formation. Trying to get a play off. And it is in and out of the hands and dropped there by Daly. They'll stop the clock with 2:04. Believe we will have the 2-minute warning here playing college rules. It'll be 3rd and 10 now. As Iowa's defense looking to see if they can force a quick 3 and out. And if Cedar Rapids goes for it on 4th and can't get it, Iowa will have a shot. As we know, they have the big playability in the pass game, even with the interception. Last play before the 2-minute warning. Karsten lines up in the slot. Almost a false start. Delivered over, caught by Barry. And it will be a good gain on 3rd down, and it'll bring up 4th and 1. Clock stops for the 2-minute warning. So 4th and 1. Clock will stop, and we will be right back. .154 left in the first half. Raptors looking to keep the drive going. They're going to run that same formation out that got them the touchdown. 4th and 1 from the 38-yard line.
Not a ton of bodies up in the box for the defense.
Stockwell Gregson pushes forward, and they'll have the first down plus a couple more, and almost breaks it. Carry goes for 10 down to the 28. Defense has not been able to win the battle up front.
Good job by Mikulek to get a little bit of a trip up there, allowing for the safeties to come up and finish the play off.
Clock running again with under a minute 45 left before halftime. Quick pass over, and they're going to call that an incomplete pass. They're lucky that wasn't a fumble, as that looked like it was a backwards pass.
Still would have been recovered by Rachel Daly, but instead of the clock running, it's a free stoppage of time.
Plus, even a loss of a couple yards can be a disaster at this point in the field. 2nd and 10 coming up from the 28 with a minute 39 left. Grace Francis has come in defensively, see if she can make a big play. Said this week that she actually prefers on the defensive side because she just likes to hit people. Phoenix without one of their best players this week, potentially out for the season, with September Dale. And they could use someone making a big play here. They've been able to win the battle of attrition so far, 16-14. Turn, hand this one off. Barry going to be dragged down, but gain of 3 up to the 35, and a timeout called by the Raptors with a minute 33 on the clock.
Katie Turner there to drag down Barry. Much needed there. Can't let Barry get a full head of steam.
It'll be 3rd and 7 when we come back from the 25-yard line. Raptors driving. 3rd and 7 from the 25-yard line. I want to thank everyone from both the Phoenix and Raptors fan bases. Make sure to like and subscribe here on YouTube. Gregson under pressure, delivers the pass off, and it will fall incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th and 7 from the 25. Obvious 4-down territory here. Good pressure on the far side of the field coming in was Shannon Christensen from the strong side. And the Phoenix trying to end this drive. Raptors still with 1 timeout if they are able to move the chains. Under 1:30 left before halftime. And I think the Raptors are going to use it here. Didn't like what they saw. Tough time to use it. As if they move the chains, they will have no timeouts on either side. We'll take another short break and be back with the end of the first half right after this. Minute 27 left on the clock. 4th down. This one in and out of the hands. It'll fall incomplete, and the Phoenix will take over with 1:22 on the clock. Let's see if they just decide to send this to halftime or if they try and come up with a big play. Last thing you want to do is turn the ball over on this side of the field. But we know that they can break big plays. Largest play of the season was for 74 yards. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 25 for Iowa. No timeouts.
Wouldn't be surprised to see a few shots taken by Francis. Has a big arm. Has certainly not been afraid to show it off so far today. Has missed the connection with Fisk so far.
She will drop back. Looking over the top for Christensen. It is caught. Trying to get outside. She's going to be dropped for a gain of 16. Clock will stop momentarily while they reposition the ball. Second catch of the game for Shannon Christensen. Clock continues to run. First and 10 now from the 41. Francis pitches it out. Peterson trying to get upfield. Steps out of the tackle, but it looks like there's going to be a penalty flag thrown. Clock stops with 54 seconds left.
And there's an injury on the field.
I believe that might be Renisa Smith-Taylor for the Raptors. Waiting to see what the penalty call is as well. 54 seconds left in the half. An interesting decision to go to the run.
I don't mind it, knowing Peterson's ability to break it out to the outside and then cut it back to the inside and even be able to make it out of bounds in time. So good to see Taylor walk off under her own power.
It'll be a holding call against Iowa, redo a first down. So they'll end up going backwards and cost them about 20 seconds of time.
Here's where I expect to see more of the arm of Francis.
First and 21 after the penalty. Need to get to the 49 to move the chains.
One defender on the near side with both Fisk and Mikulek out here.
Francis going to take off and run with it. Good athleticism to the outside. And still off to the races, and she is going to go for quite a ride from the 31 down to the opposing 42. Gain of 27 and gets out of bounds.
You know what I love the most about that play? The end of it, when she's on the sidelines, hands on her helmet, knowing that she could have gone the distance. It's kind of the competitive attitude you want from your quarterback.
So 1st and 10 now from the 42. The Phoenix have not made a field goal, I don't believe, in any of the last 3 seasons. So it might be touchdown or bust. We have seen them attempt the extra point with Grace Francis, but we'll see what the decision is here. In the slot, Christensen could have an open play. Going to the other side, looking for Fisk. She's open. This one's caught by the rookie. No, it is in and out and falls incomplete. Had it in her hands and couldn't come up with it.
I think she had it. It's just a matter of, like, maybe lost it just before the ref could see a definitive maintaining of possession before going out of bounds.
Second big drop downfield by the rookie. Would have been 1st and 10 from inside the 15 with 20 seconds on the clock. Instead, it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 42, 21 to go until halftime. Francis under pressure, delivers this one over, falls incomplete. 2 flags fly on each side of the field.
Could be offside since they let the play keep going. Francis a little shaken up as well after the hit. "16 seconds to go."
And it looks like they are marking it off against Iowa. It'll be a 5-yard penalty.
Don't know why they let the play go on if it was a false start.
Could have been an illegal shift, illegal motion. So a 5-yard penalty makes it now 2nd and 15. Iowa looking for one final big play. Couple big drops by Fisk. This one, they get it out short to her. Able to outrun the first tackle. Gets inside the 40, and she will go out with 9 seconds on the clock.
They've been very good about making sure they get out of bounds, stopping the clock, not having to scramble back to the line.
That play goes for 10. First catch of the game for Fisk. It'll be 3rd and 5. Nine seconds to go until halftime. Might be able to get one quick play, see if they can get the first down. Otherwise, just heaving it towards the end zone on the next play.
I'm staring at one-on-one coverage on the far side with Mikulek.
And that's where Francis is going to go into the inside. Falls incomplete with 4 seconds.
Oh, that's not good. Francis grabbing at her knee.
Was trying to get up to avoid using the injury timeout, but Francis, a big limp. She will make her way to the sideline. Is under her own power, so hopefully it's just a little bit of a strain. And we'll see what the decision is here. I would expect that without Francis in the game, you probably take this to halftime. Megan Kushner does have a decent arm, but we'll see who comes in at quarterback. It looks like it might be Tiffany Schott. So 4th and 5 with 4 seconds on the clock. An unfortunate drop by Fisk earlier in the drive could have set them up for a potential late touchdown. Megan Kushner has been the backup quarterback. But it looks like it will be Peterson actually coming out. No, Fisk comes up under center. And she will take a knee. And that will do it here in the first half. At halftime, the Phoenix leads 16-14. Will get the ball to begin play in the second half. In the meantime, we will take a break and come back with some halftime stats analysis as well as the start of the third quarter. It'll be Phoenix football to start the third quarter. Grace Francis in the first half, 5-11 for 71 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. As Zane Nelson had the 53-yard touchdown catch for the Raptors along with the interception. On the ground, Crystal Peterson, 1 touchdown on 13 carries to go along with 97 yards, very close to the century mark. Looking to go over 700 yards for the season. Needed just under 150 yards coming into today's game. As we are underway here in the third. Takes a bad bounce, and that could be Raptors football, but I think the Phoenix may have recovered it.
It's a scrum there. No clue who has it. And it is Phoenix ball.
A potentially disastrous play ends up going the Phoenix's way, and they are able to recover it.
Francis still has a little bit of a limp coming back out of halftime. Not nearly as bad as it was going in, so hopefully she still has some magic.
Had the big 27-yard run in the first half, 22 total yards for her. Receiving-wise, Kira Fisk, 1 catch for 10 yards. Had the 2 big drops, though. Shannon Christensen, 2 catches for 36 yards and a touchdown. And Larissa Mikulek with 1 catch for 25 yards as Crystal Peterson goes across the century mark, picks up 9 yards on the carry. Up to the 40-yard line. Fourteenth carry of the game.
Ground game has worked beautifully for the Phoenix so far today.
Francis in the shotgun will hand it off to Peterson, cuts it back over to the middle, steps out of 2 tackles and picks up an extra couple of yards. Gets another 8 on that carry. She's had another big game with 115 yards for the contest. Phoenix moved the ball. It's now 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line of Cedar Rapids. 13:40 on the clock in the third quarter. They'll go right back to the ground game again. This time just a short carry. Gain of just 1 on the play.
Feeding the hot hand until it's not hot. Also maybe trying to ease Francis into this half, not wanting to aggravate any injury that might have happened at the end of that first half. Did get hit quite a lot and very hard to end that first half.
It took a big sack as well as a hit after the play was over. As they've looked at deep for Kira Fisk a couple of times, 2 big drops in the first half, but would love to see them go back to receive. They can build some of that confidence for her. This one dumped over the side, looking for Peterson out of the backfield as a bad snap handled by Francis. Took another big shot at the end of that play. Pass falls incomplete, and they'll bring up 3rd and 9. First pass attempt of the second half falls incomplete. Francis in her second year as a starting quarterback of the Phoenix. 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions thrown this year. 673 yards entering the game, adding another 71 to that total. Francis looking deep, and that one is knocked away from Mikulek, the intended receiver. Good defense on the back end of that one. Looked like very deep to knock that one away, and it'll be 4th and 9 now.
Yeah, just a little bit too much air underneath the ball, got held up. No wind to affect it, just stayed up in the air too long.
4th and 9 from the 32. Need to get to the Raptors 23 to move the chains and avoid letting this one run out. They got a couple of big carries at the start of the drive, 17 total yards from Peterson. As back-to-back passes fall incomplete for Francis. They're going to go to the air again. Steps outside of a sack. She's going to take off and run with it, trying to get the edge. Runs through a defender inside the 20. She'll go down. Picks up 13 on the carry.
Good job by Anique Adams on the defensive side, putting a stop to that run. Francis could have taken that for an extra 5 or even 10. Anique Adams there puts an end to it.
As we hit 12 minutes left here in the third quarter, Raptors defense can't get the stop on fourth down, and the Phoenix have an opportunity to try and punch this one in inside the red zone. Peterson on the left side, can't get a hole, and she's met for no gain on the play.
Good job getting back to the line of scrimmage, at least with the defender draped on her back.
That'll bring up 2nd and 10, fourth carry of the second half for the 4-year veteran, multiple-time All-American and representative of Team USA. $115 total yards on the game so far. This time on the right side, steps up through a tackle. Keeps the legs churning before eventually being brought down by Liz Humple.
Yeah, and it's been those pitch plays that have been the magic makers for this offense.
9 yards on the play, brings up 3rd and 1. Need to get to the 9 to convert. Trying to get 1st and goal. We'll have 2 attempts at this. And I would keep this one on the ground, make the defense stop you.
My thoughts exactly. I mean, Peterson's just been so unstoppable today.
Peterson on the right side. It'll be a direct snap to Francis and a quarterback keeper right up the middle. She'll pick up 3, and that'll be enough to move the chains. It'll be 1st and goal from the 7. So the Phoenix an opportunity to try and punch this one in and see if they can get a 2-point conversion and push it to 2 possessions. That scoop and score by Mikulek has been the difference in this one so far. Two receivers on the right side. Pitched out to Peterson. Looked like she was going to get the ability to punch it in, but instead it's going to be a gain of 6. And she spun down at the 1.
Been an absolutely incredible drive for Peterson. Pounding the rock has taken away 6 minutes of this quarter.
And the Phoenix complete control here on this drive. Not trying to rush. Knowing a score here could be huge coming out of halftime.
There really is no need to rush. You have plenty of time on the clock. You have the lead. You have an opportunity to extend it here.
And 3 attempts from inside the 1 as Francis. Line breaks down, and she's going to be dropped by Humple for a loss of 5.
Might have been trying to draw the defense in as close as possible before potentially flipping it up over the top to Mikulek, but also trying to also be aware of linemen down the field, maybe just trying to avoid the penalty and instead takes a huge loss.
Tiffany Schott will come in from the sideline as she will replace Peterson. Nope, excuse me, Mikulek will come out. Under 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Phoenix trying to punch this one in to take an 8-point lead.
Far side of the field looking very empty.
Pass over the top, looking for Fisk, and she's got it. Fifth touchdown catch of the season for the rookie. And that is where they have looked to her in the red zone with that 5'11" frame. A basketball player this past season for the Carlisle Wildcats, and she went up for a rebound on that one. Looking like prime Angel Reese grabbing that board. As the Phoenix get the score, go up 22-14.
Beautiful layup of a play for Grace Francis. Just had to flick it up over the top directly to Fisk.
A big red zone target this year. This one delivered short. And it'll make it 22-14 as the Phoenix get a big 8-point lead.
Still a one possession game, and that is a key factor to keep an eye on. This Raptors offense has looked so much different and so much better. Defense has to step up here and give the offense a chance to extend the lead.
Phoenix got a late stop that allowed them to try and make a run at it at the end of the first half, but came up short. Phoenix able to bounce back out of halftime, though. They take a drive all the way down and put a touchdown up, and in the process taking 7 minutes and 22 seconds off the clock here in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's a huge time taken off. It makes it so that there's a bit more pressure here to score on this drive for the Raptors. Because with the way that the Phoenix are bleeding clock, you might get maybe 2 or 3 more possessions with them handing it off to Crystal Peterson consistently, continuously, and driving down that field.
Peterson 33 yards on 6 carries for that drive. A great play on 4th and long by the quarterback, Grace Francis. It looks like a fair catch signal taken by Humple, and it'll be 1st and 10 at the 39.
I try to say that she took a knee there, had to go down to a knee to catch the ball, so she doesn't fight it too much.
So the Raptors take over with 7:34 left in the third quarter. Big thanks again to everyone tuning in from both the Iowa Phoenix and Cedar Raptor fan bases. Make sure to like and subscribe on Facebook as well as YouTube to stay up to date with all of the Cedar Raptor games. Raptors take over their own 39-yard line, I formation. Humple is the back. Turn handed off to her, and it'll be a loss in the backfielder. Zariah White. And there's going to be an injury timeout on the field. We'll take a short break ourselves and be right back. Second and 10 from the 39-yard line after no gain on the play. Stockwell Gregson going to drop back over the front, and it is in and out of the hands of Nelson.
Was thinking for the yards after the catch before even having possession of the ball. That's going to be a huge mistake and a miscue here as it's 3rd and 10 now.
Would have had an opportunity for the first down and probably some more, trying to get to the outside. Had that big catch and run for the 53-yard touchdown earlier in the game. Instead, this time it falls to the ground.
Yeah, has already showcased that she's the fastest player on the field when she's on offense, outrunning everybody on the Phoenix team. A player that needs to be watched at all times. Could have had a big one there.
Probable passing down here with 3rd and 10 from their own 39. Phoenix trying to force a 3-and-out after the touchdown. And play is going to be blown dead. We'll see if this is going to be an offsides or false start. It is between the left tackle and Clarissa Smith. And they're going to call it on the left tackle.
They'll typically stop play for a false start. They'll let a play go if it's offsides.
I was wondering if maybe they drew her to jump. It was a very close play.
Yeah.
Clarissa Smith coming in from that right end spot. But the false start is called against left tackle. I believe that was Callie Gartsky. So it is now 3rd and 15. Ball back to the 34. Stockwell Gregson rolling out to the right. Gets it over to Humple. And she's going to be wrapped up and slowed up by Christensen. And the rest of the defense comes in. It is a loss of 2 on the play.
Potentially even 3. Trying to see where they're lining it up. Looks like it will be 3.
Ball marked back to the 32-yard line. So obvious punting situation here as Fisk goes back deep to return. I just want once to see them break a return for a touchdown.
If anybody's got the speed to do it and like the shiftiness as well, it's going to be Kira Fisk. I mean, Christensen's fast, Mikulik's fast,
Peterson's fast.
But Fisk probably has the best shiftiness out of anybody.
And the youngest knees.
That as well.
As able to get this one away.
Just going to let this one roll and settle.
It'll be down by Daly at the 45-yard line. And the Phoenix offense will come back out. Second passing touchdown of the game thrown by Grace Francis last time out. Now 6 for 14, 77 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick today. Fisk making up for those 2 drops earlier, coming down with the touchdown catch. And the Phoenix will try to push it to multiple possessions.
Wonder how much clock they're going to want to try and bleed here with Peterson.
(22-14), 5:54 left here in the third quarter. Phoenix come out in the shotgun formation. Peterson to the right of Francis. They'll keep this one on in the air. Give it out to Fisk. She's out to the 50. And a gain of about 10. They'll mark her out at the 47-yard line. Gain of 8 officially.
Great play there. Good wide receiver screen. Great blocks as well from her teammates on the near side.
Third catch of the game for the rookie.
She's had a couple miscues on drops when she's been wide open, but has made up for them here and there. Continue to learn and improve the hands.
Is a big weapon in that short passing game. A blitz from the left side. Peterson goes right up the middle. She'll have the first down. Gain of 3.
As that was Barry coming off the edge on the blitz.
(133 yards on the game for Crystal Peterson. It'll be 1st and 10 now from the 44-yard line of Cedar Rapids. Raptors played a very tough first half, but the Phoenix have come out firing on all cylinders here in the third.
As clock continues to just bleed here. in the third quarter. As another creep up here from Barry on the blitz, potentially.
See if they look to go to a pitch to the other side.
That's going to be a false start.
And unfortunately there, as Christensen was flying through the defense, but that's going to cost the Phoenix 5 yards.
Yeah, it's just another miscommunication on snap count, I think. Kira Fisk potentially thought it was going on 1, went on 2.
It'll be 1st and 15 now back at the 49-yard line. See if they change the play call here. As that quick route could have been a huge play for Iowa in the pass game.
Yeah, they've been playing a lot of zone here and on defense of the Raptors, and it's really been able to be exposed. You know, they'll show man coverage here. They'll probably drop back into more of a zone look. Especially, creeping down to the inside.
Barry can't get the shoestring tackle. And it'll be a gain of 8 back up to the 41-yard line. As we tick down to 3:50 left here in the third. Second and 7 coming up.
Really has been a lot of cover 2 match for the Raptors. And it's been really good at holding up the receivers down the field, putting some pressure over the top, making Francis have it to beat them deep. Obviously, earlier in the game, came up with a huge stop on 4th down inside of their own red zone.
This one delivered out looking for Fisk, but it was behind the receiver. Falls incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd and 7.
Here the fans start to say 1 more, but with this Phoenix team, it's almost always 2 more when it's 3rd down. You got to stop them twice if you want them off the field.
Especially with how their defense has played this season. Just one game where they've allowed more than 15 points in a rough showing against the Mountain Lions. But overall, this team has been very improved on both sides of the ball. 3 receivers over on the far side of the formation. Peterson will stay in to block. Good blitz from the side, looking deep for Fisk. Excuse me, that was for Christensen. Falls incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down. Francis able to avoid a big hit there. A strong rush from the right side brought in by Bridget Karsten.
As it was Zane Nelson in coverage. Help from the safety. Looks like that was number 5. It was Anique Adams.
Adams having a solid game on both sides for the Raptors. As even throwing into triple coverage, just a step away. And the only person that could have made that catch was Christensen. So just a little bit inaccurate, but a strong pass from the quarterback for the Phoenix.
It was the right area, just a little bit inaccurate. Need to find a bit more of that precision.
Trips to the right this time. Francis delivers over the middle. Fisk has it on the catch. Falling to the ground, able to make that one.
Looks like it will be enough for a first.
Gain of 8 on the play. 4th catch of the game for Kira Fisk. Having a very good second half after a quiet first. 3 catches for 22 yards since the break.
A lot more pass heavy this drive, not as much Crystal Peterson.
1st and 10 from the 33.
Barry creeps up again, gets caught offside.
This one complete to Fisk, trying to get outside. She's inside the 30, steps out of the tackles, and she's off to the races. Kira Fisk is going to take it in for the score. Pending the penalty, but as of right now, it appears that is going to be a Phoenix touchdown.
33 yards on the quick out. It's offsides on Barry. Penalty will be declined, and it is going to be a touchdown.
3rd touchdown pass of the game, 10th of the season for Grace Francis, and that is the 6th touchdown of the year, 2nd of the game for Kira Fisk.
And I mean, typically you see a quarterback knows when a player jumps off sides, they have a free play. Instead here, it's I'm just going to get it out to a quick receiver, see what they can do. And if they can't get the yards that we would make on the penalty, we'll take the penalty. If not, we'll take the yards.
Great awareness from Francis just to make sure to get something on that play. Francis will pitch this one out, and Peterson will take it in without being touched. As 2 straight touchdowns for the Phoenix put them in charge of this one 30-14.
Yeah, just a great drive. That is a confidence-building drive for Francis and for Fisk. A lot of great connections there on that drive. Missed a couple throws, but all in all, managed to get the short game going, which could lead to the medium game, which can lead to the deep game. It really is just, it's not an all or nothing. It's building up to that point. And even then, Crystal Peterson not having to be used that drive, another big confidence booster for Francis and the offense, knowing that if, Peterson's not getting it done right now, they have the ability to continue going forward and in this game make those plays.
And what a pickup Kira Fisk has been this year for the Phoenix. Came in with 4 touchdowns along with 145 yards on just 7 catches. Today, 6 catches for 55 yards, 2 scores to add to her season total. Could be headed for All-American status with the year she's having.
And the fact that she could be well over 100 yards today is also insane. It just shows that even despite her mistakes, she is putting up a huge performance.
Ball taken
off the tackles.
Couldn't tell if that was Barry. I believe so. Nope, that was, Bria Lenton on the return.
Showcasing some really nice spin moves there, getting away from big hits.
So we 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line for Cedar Rapids. They forgot to stop the clock as it continues to run. Iowa now with a 2-score lead, 30-14. As they have controlled the time of possession, over 11 minutes of TOP here in the 3rd quarter alone. Turn, hand this one off. Short gain on the play. Barry trying to get out of the tackle. She does. I believe that's going to be a face mask call.
Yeah, that'll be a face mask called on Shannon Christensen.
So it would stand as a 4-yard gain, but that'll tack on. And it is a face mask call, so a big penalty there for the Raptors with 1:30 on the clock in the quarter. That'll move the chains for them as they look to try and make this a 1-score game once again.
Be absolutely huge for them if they can go down the field, score, get this back to a 1-possession game. See if their defense can get a stop and then potentially get that ball back and tie things up. It's a 16-point deficit, so it's 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions needed here to tie things up without allowing a score. It's going to be a lot, but can the Raptors do it with the time left? About a quarter left, quarter and change.
Clock begins to run again, under 1:10 left in the 3rd. This one, a double reverse for Daly. It's on the ground. Carson has to jump on top of it. As they tried to get a little cheeky on that play, and it ends up in a loss of 5.
As I believe it was Abby Hansen coming screaming in, trying to get a tackle there. Instead runs right past the free ball, but clock will continue to tick here as we near the end of the 3rd quarter, a quarter dominated by Iowa.
Probably the final play of the 3rd quarter, 2nd and 15. As the Raptors trying to avoid a delay of game call. It'll be a direct snap this time to Adams, trying to go to the right side. TOAC on the stop, drops her for a loss of 2.
What a stop.
And that will be the last play of the 3rd quarter after getting the big penalty They've lost 7 yards in the last 2 plays, and that will send us into the fourth quarter. We'll take a break for the quarter break and be back with the start of the fourth right after this. Iowa in front, 30-14. Barry going out in motion. They're going to set up a screen pass. Looking for Barry on the outside. It is complete. She's going to get back to just shy of the original line of scrimmage. Ball comes out at the end, but they're going to say Barry is down.
What a toss from the back judge on the flag.
Clock does stop with 14:51 left. There's a penalty flag that's thrown. I wonder if this could be another face mask from the area it was thrown in.
As it looks like we'll have Barry's down again with another injury.
And it is another face mask, so that'll be an automatic first down. So while Barry gets looked at, we'll take a short break. It'll be 1st and 10 when we come back. Barry helped to the sideline here. 14:51 remaining in the contest. As the clock begins to roll again, it is 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. Raptors need a touchdown on this possession, and this one is going to be dropped by Nelson on the far side. As Stockwell Gregson tried to get it to the hot hand, and after that hot start, it has been a rough going for the passing game.
It really has been. It's been, trying to find players open over the middle, like on that huge 53-yard touchdown reception from Zane Nelson. Really just a dump off over the middle that Nelson was able to use her speed and go blast past the Phoenix defense. Just haven't been able to find that. The Phoenix have been playing receivers very closely over the middle, not allowing anything going past them, as they'll line up in Wildcat, it looks like.
Adams has been taking the direct snap on these plays. 2nd and 10. She'll take it on the left side. And met at the line of scrimmage. It was Christensen there on the stop. No gain on the play.
What a play from Christensen. Lays quite a big hit for such a small frame.
It'll be 3rd and 10 now. Christensen, quiet offense in the second half. Had 2 catches for 36 yards. In the first half, it's been all Kira Fisk since halftime. 5 catches for her in the second half for 45 yards.
Penalties on the defensive side of the ball have been killer this drive for the Phoenix. A couple of face masks.
13:50 remaining in the game. Raptors desperately need to score. 3rd and 10. This one delivered over the middle. It is caught. A great pass on the run. As goes for a gain of about 8, I believe. And that'll bring up 4th and 2 as the Raptors need to convert.
Stockwell Gregson does have a good arm. It's just sometimes lacking in that accuracy department. So far has been pretty good.
They're going to line the offense up right at the line of scrimmage, but call a timeout beforehand. That'll be the first timeout of the second half for either team. And we will take a short break, 4th and 2, when we come back. A different formation here for the Raptors out of the timeout. They'll line up in the shotgun. Stockwell Gregson trying to get a first down here for the Raptors, keep the drive going. And a direct snap. They'll run an end around here, and a penalty flag is going to fly. That'll be a false start. Had the makings of something very strong after the end around to Schrader. But instead, that's going to cost them 5 yards.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Could have been something really big there, something that they desperately needed. Instead, throws them back even further. They're going to have to get a little, maybe even more creative or less. It depends on what they think they can do here. And if the play they drew up has the potential to get them those yards back.
Schrader does come off the field. They'll send Alyssa Noble back into the game. Fourth and 7, 13:07 left in the game. Need to convert to try and get this back to a one-score game. Stockwell Gregson rolling out to the right side. Under pressure. Delivers this one downfield. No one in the vicinity. That'll stop the clock with a change of possession. Phoenix retake the ball from their own 23-yard line, and I expect we're going to see a heavy dose of Crystal Peterson going back the other way.
Yeah, they're going to try and bleed as much of this clock as humanly possible. Wouldn't be surprised if they were going to try from this spot, trying to go the whole length of the field. They burn 8 minutes. Just taking it down as close to zero as possible on the play clock, continuing to run the ball. Maybe even a few screen passes out to Fisk or Mikulek or Christensen. Just short gains, keep the clock rolling, and really just try to get out of here with the win.
They'll split 3 receivers out. They have gone to the passing game in situations like this before, and that's exactly what they'll do here, trying to ice this one over the top. Fisk catches this one. She's off to the races. They're not going to catch her. A 77-yard touchdown to ice this one.
Yeah, that is game. What a throw, what a catch.
Kira Fisk, who dropped a couple of them, 108 receiving yards on her last 2 catches. As the Phoenix put a little bow on this one to go up 36-14.
As on the last 2 receptions from Kira Fisk, I believe 110 yards total, both touchdowns. What an explosion from Kira Fisk. Actually, it might be the last 3 drives have all ended in a Kira Fisk touchdown.
They have.
Yeah, because you had the rebound touchdown, you had the screen touchdown, now you have the touchdown.
Goes off to Peterson. She'll get to the end zone. 2-point is good. 32-14. Excuse me, 38. Math
38.
is difficult.
Math is difficult, I agree.
That's why we're in the booth.
What a pitch and catch to the rookie.
What a game for Kira Fisk. Has been absolutely electric.
6 catches, 140 yards, 3 touchdowns for her in this one.
That's just ridiculous. In the best way possible, that is ridiculous.
Every pass that has been completed this half by the Phoenix has gone to Kira Fisk. She has 130 yards just in this half after 1 catch for 10 yards in this first half. That also puts Grace Francis over 200 yards for the game, her second 4-touchdown game against the Raptors this year. As Fisk coming back in for the kickoff. You would think she'd be a little winded after that catch and run.
I mean, being a cross-country runner in high school, I mean, you're probably not too winded. You've done this for so long.
Return taken by Nelson. Short return up to the 40-yard line. And that is where the Raptors will take over.
As I believe the pads are off and the night is done for Bayana Berry. Hopefully she's okay. Just not enough to risk her going into next week's game, especially with how powerful this game has been for them. I mean, 14 points put up on a very good defense that hasn't allowed a lot of points so far this season. This is a outstanding performance for them, and hopefully they can get her back next week, put up a good showing again.
It'll be the last game of the season next week for the Raptors. Iowa will be back at home in the process as well against the Oklahoma Rage. It'll be the Minnesota Minx coming in to play the Raptors. Should be a fairly even game. The Minx losing it to the Phoenix 18-14 last week at home. Stockwell Gregson changing the play call at the line of scrimmage. 12:40 left in the game. Penalty flag flies as Humple gets the carry. Illegal formation going to be the call against the Raptors. And it'll be first and 15 now after the penalty. Another all-around great game for Iowa.
Really explosive second half for the Phoenix. Things were a little slow in the first half. They came out, made a bunch of adjustments, and they worked perfectly. I mean, they drained clock in that third quarter, put up big scores, and now in the fourth quarter, they've put up quick scores as well.
So far for the game, Crystal Peterson, 21 carries for 141 yards and a touchdown, as this handoff goes for a positive gain. I believe that went to Alyssa Noble. Should bring up about 2nd and 6. So gain of 9 on the play. So 1 touchdown for Crystal Peterson, as well as a couple of 2-point conversions. Grace Francis, after going 5 of 11 for 71 yards in the first half, is now 5 of 9 for 132 in the second half, with 3 touchdowns up on the board. 4 touchdowns and 203 yards for the game, along with the interception. And we already talked about it, but Kira Fisk with 140 yards and 3 touchdowns on the receiving end. As this will be a first down for the Raptors.
Great run by Tamara Williams.
Having to go a little bit deeper in the depth chart without Bayana Berry, as well as Ramir Lacey out for the game as well.
Williams just her 2nd carry on the season, and it's her first one for a gain.
Under 11 minutes left in the game. Fresh set of downs for the Raptors. 1st and 10 in Phoenix territory. 38-14 our score. 22 unanswered this half for the Phoenix, as Noble is dropped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
As it looks like that tackle made by Abby Hansen.
So Hansen on the stop. Ticks down to about 10 minutes remaining in the game. It's been all Iowa here in the second half. Third time this season they've gone for 28 or more, as this one is completed to Noble. Gain of 5. It'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Grace Francis ripped that one out, but the whistles were blowing as it happened, down by contact.
Francis still hungry, even with the game likely in the bag at this point in the contest. Tamara Williams will come to the sideline. Stockwell Gregson will get the play call in. More than likely at this point in the game, it's going to be 4 down territory throughout the rest of the contest for Cedar Rapids. Raptors with their highest scoring output of the season. A 53-yard touchdown catch by Zane Nelson earlier in the game, and Stockwell Gregson with a 2-yard touchdown run. As Carson goes in motion. Try to be on the receiving end of this one, but it falls incomplete. Clock will stop with 8:49 remaining, and that'll bring up 4th down. Liz Humple will come back into the contest. They will also bring Jada Hernandez into the game as well, with Williams coming to the sideline. Trying to keep the drive alive. 8:49 left in the game. Stockwell Gregson will come out in the shotgun. Daly on the near side. Nelson split out wide left. Receiver on either side of the formation in the slot as well. Penalty flags fly as this one falls incomplete. Kushner, the defender in the area. Haven't said her name at all today, really. And as a defender, a lot of time that's a good thing. Penalty is declined. It will be a turnover on downs back to the Phoenix.
Yeah, as it was a false start on the near side. That one went on Rachel Daly.
Daly, an All-American linebacker, has had a quiet day on both sides of the ball. Had a couple catches early on for about 15 yards. So Iowa takes over 1st and 10 at their own 44-yard line as Raptor defense comes back out. This game already out of reach, more than likely, as Iowa will try to run as much time off the clock here. They went to the pass game and got a 77-yard touchdown on the first play from scrimmage. Fiscal lineup one-on-one coverage on the near side. They hand it off to Peterson. Goes to the right side. And she'll have the first down and more. 21 yards on that carry. That'll put her over 700 yards for the season for the first time in Iowa Phoenix history.
What a great season from Crystal Peterson. What a great game as well. Up over 150 yards on the day.
162 now total on 22 carries. First and 10 now from the opposing 39. They'll give it to her again. Big hole up the middle. Offensive line continues to push forward. She'll pick up another 4 or so. Give her 3 on the carry officially. It'll be 2nd and 7. Under 7.5 minutes left, so over halfway through this fourth quarter. Francis in the shotgun. Peterson gets it again. A big block leveled by the quarterback on Bridget Karsten. Gain of 5 on the play. That'll bring up 3rd and 2. As Iowa looking to run as much of the clock here. Francis pitches this one out. Peterson using that speed, gets to the corner, but this is going to come back to a holding call. As of right now, Peterson would get in for the touchdown, but this is definitely coming back.
Yeah, that's a definite hold on the far side.
So that'll cost the Phoenix a touchdown. Would have been a 31-yard carry. Would have put Peterson over 200 yards for the game.
And it was a really well, taken rush. Just, unfortunately got a good hold there from her teammate.
Yeah, I believe that was Tia Wasty in the backfield. So we'll see what the play call is now. It'll be a 10-yard penalty. Actually, it'll just be 8 yards as they came a little bit downfield. Goes back to the original line of scrimmage. So 3rd and 10 now. Peterson steps out after the long run. They'll try to pitch this one out to Mo Manning on the near side. First tackle can't bring her down, but Schrader there to clean it up. And that'll bring up 4th and long. And we'll see if Peterson's night is done. Under 6 minutes remaining. Francis will bring the play call in from the sideline. Iowa will move to 4-1 under new head coach Mario Dara and put themselves in a great spot to clinch a playoff position for the first time in a couple years.
Absolutely, and really they have a shot to win a playoff game if they manage to get there.
Francis, this one over to the right side, caught by Christensen. Tackle can't bring her down, goes back into the middle. Nelson eventually swings her down inside of the 20.
This will take us under 5 minutes left to go.
I believe that play went for about 24. New down and distance for Iowa, under 5 minutes left. Now 60 yards on the game for Shannon Christensen. Francis will drop back, roll to the right side. This one will fall incomplete over top of the intended receiver, Christensen. That'll be 2nd and 10 inside of the red zone, as Peterson will come back into the game. Second and 10 from the 17-yard line. See if they go back to Peterson, now with her returning to action. 170 yards on 24 carries for the contest. They'll pitch it out to her, and it's a fumble. And they're going to rule an incomplete pass. Yeah, a lot of those pitches have been, it felt like, going forward. So I think technically Grace Francis could have a lot more passing yards in this game. This one ruled an incomplete. Third and 10 now, 4:34 remaining. Trips to the right side. They'll look that way. Kira Fisk, the receiver screen. And a good tackle. Stops her from getting to the first. Gain of 5. It'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, that's a really strong tackle out there, especially with the speed of Fisk. That could have gone into the end zone, but instead it is a 4th down and a decent way to go. Roughly 6. Officially goes for 5.
Need to get down to the 12-yard line to convert. Under 4 minutes left in the game. Francis over the top. Fisk has another one.
What a game.
Kira Fisk with her 4th touchdown of the game. This one for 15. That gives her 159 yards, 4 touchdowns today.
This is player of the week type play here. What a game from the rookie.
And Grace Francis now 246 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Jeez.
As they're going to try an extra point here.
Why not?
They've failed to kick an extra point in the, 4 seasons we've been doing this? And it is a bad snap shot, going to just fall on top of it. And they still have not converted an extra point in 4 seasons. So it is 44-14 after the 4th touchdown of the game from Kira Fisk, now with 8 on the season. 12 touchdown passes on the year for Grace Francis as well. And I believe that may tie Chris Guerra for the most in program history.
What a game here. What a second half, really. It's been an insane second half. They came out after halftime with words of wisdom from their coach, the correct adjustments, and they stuck to their guns. They realized that, Shannon Christensen was having an okay day, so they shifted from Shannon to Kira Fisk. Crystal Peterson having a great day behind in the backfield. But really, Kira Fisk, superstar of the game.
Under 4 minutes left in this one. Kickoff downfield is taken by Nelson. Steps away from the first tackle, making Christensen miss. She's brought down just north of the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 41 coming up. The offense will come back out likely for the final time today.
Looking to at least get a score on the board, see if they can salvage some points here.
Stockwell Gregson will come out under center. Dropping back to pass under pressure. And I think this one's picked off. It is Shannon Christensen. 12th interception of the year thrown by Stockwell Gregson. And what a catch by Shannon Christensen.
Kind of just scoops it up before it can hit the dirt. And that should be it. We're going to run this clock out.
Phoenix with a 30-point lead. It was 16-14 at halftime. And the Phoenix have come out with 28 straight to close this one out. It'll be 1st and 10 at the opposing 38-yard line. Some good takeaways, though, for the Raptors as they've continued to play extremely strong. The rushing attack worked well at times here today and getting their first passing touchdown of the season. St. Nelson might be a big weapon for them moving forward into the future. This one pitched out. Peterson over 180 yards now as she refuses to go down, eventually taken out of bounds. Give her another 17. See if she can hit the 200-yard mark before today is done. First and 10 now coming up from the 22-yard line.
Offensive explosion from the Phoenix here. It's another sidestep here and gets away again.
Peterson turns what could have been a negative play into a gain of 5.
I wish we started keeping track of how many broken tackles she's had today.
Hey, I'm keeping track of enough stuff right now.
No, I know. But she's got to be well over 20 broken tackles. Well over. She's consistently breaking at least one, if not two tackles per carry.
And that will stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. We'll take a break and come back with the conclusion of this game right after this. Two minutes left here in the game as the Phoenix 2nd and 6 coming up. 192 yards for the game for Crystal Peterson. They're going to run an option play here. Francis is going to keep it, getting to the edge. Sidesteps and breaks a tackle. It takes 4 defenders to bring her down, and a penalty flag flies.
I think Francis just wants the contact right now. Game's over. Francis says, I want to bounce off people.
It's going to be a holding call against Iowa, so they will redo the play. It'll be 2nd and 16 now. Actually, it did take place downfield, so they only lose yards back to the original line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10. Francis delivers this one short, and Wasty had the catch. Fumbled it, and I believe technically that will be a gain of, or no gain on the play, on the pass, but a loss on the fumble as a timeout called by the Raptors, their 2nd of the half. We'll take a short break and be right back. Third and 15 coming out of the timeout. Looking for Fisk, falls incomplete.
As there are fireworks on the field and across the complex.
Moving in the park over at Veterans Memorial Stadium, home of the Cedar Rapids Colonels. They were showing a special edition of Field of Dreams with a orchestra performance as well.
Yeah, some of the coolest experiences you'll have in life is if you're able to go watch some of your favorite movies or TV shows, have the music of them performed live. It's such a beautiful experience. A little jealous, but I'm glad we got to be here to watch this. fireworks on the field happen.
On 4th and 15, pass falls incomplete. It will go back to the Raptors, were likely their final possession of the game. So with the offense heading off the field, looking at final stats today for the Phoenix. What a game across the board for so many of these players. As starting with the quarterback, Grace Francis had 5 carries for 33 yards. And in the air, 14 of 27, 246 yards, 5 touchdowns.
What a game from Grace Francis.
9 touchdown passes and over 500 total yards of offense against the Raptors in 2 games this season. On the ground, didn't have the same touchdown performance she did last time, but Crystal Peterson, 26 carries, 192 yards, 1 score. Shannon Christensen, 3 catches with 2 of those going for 20 plus. Total of 60 yards on the game. Larissa Mikulek, 1 catch for 25 yards. And the big one, Kira Fisk. What a performance for her. A new career high, 8 catches, 159 yards, 4 touchdowns. To her credit, as this one is going to be a sack in the backfield. Shannon Christensen getting in on the play.
So Shannon Christensen today, touchdown catch, interception, sack.
Yeah. Had a little bit of a quiet game offensively outside of the touchdown play, but getting it done on the defensive side as Cedar Rapids will call their final timeout with 1:10. We'll keep it right here. As 1:10 left in the game, Raptors no further timeouts. As the Phoenix get 2 takeaways on the defensive side, Shannon Christensen with the interception, and Larissa Mikulek with, at the time, was the play of the game in an opportunity for the Raptors near the end of the first half to take a lead going into the break. A fumble by Stockwell Gregson at the line of scrimmage on the 2-point conversion. Mikulek, 100-yard scoop and score, able to give the Phoenix a 16-14 lead and put Lady Momentum right back on their side, and they never let her go again. 44-14, 28 unanswered, 30 unanswered overall.
Yeah, I think that's the play that turned things around. If we had a game changer, it was absolutely that play. The Raptors went down, scored a huge touchdown to attempt to tie things up, even to take the lead, and then just great awareness from Mikulek to go and take that down the field and convert.
It'll be 3rd and 15 after the incomplete pass. 1:04 left on the clock. 3 hours of game time today as today's game started at 6:30. I want to thank everyone from both fan bases tuning in for today's contest. As the Raptors kept this one close for the entire first half, but the Phoenix came out firing all cylinders in the second half to score 4 unanswered touchdowns. Stockwell Gregson across the middle. It'll fall incomplete. Mikulek there defensively. Karsten, the intended recipient. And that'll give us under a minute left in today's game.
Because I thought we've seen the finale of this fireworks show about 3 times over now. What do you think ends first, the fireworks show or the game?
I'm going to say the fireworks.
I think I'm on the same boat there.
58 seconds left, 4th and 15. Could be the final play of the game for the Raptors. They'll split 4 receivers out. Haven't seen this formation yet from them. Stockwell Gregson delivers this one over. It is caught. On the catch, it is Adams, but that is not going to be enough to move the chains. And it'll be a turnover on downs back to the Phoenix.
I think it's just going to be 2 kneel downs here.
So Iowa will move to 4-1 on the season with a big matchup with the undefeated Oklahoma Rage. Next week, winner of that game could decide the Division III American Division. As right now, Oklahoma and Sioux Falls both undefeated pending action today. The Rocky Mountain Thundercats 2-2 and Iowa 3-1. The top 4 teams right now in the division. First and 10 from Iowa. It'll be a kneel down, as we'll see if Iowa has to run another play or not.
As it is, in fact, the fireworks show that ends before the game.
One more kneel down, so it'll cost some rushing yards for Grace Francis, but that will be the final here today, 44-14. Iowa comes out with a big win here on the road and get the victory. Final stats, as I mentioned, Grace Francis, 14-27, 246 yards, 5 touchdowns, and an interception. On the ground, Crystal Peterson, 26 carries, 192 yards, and a score. Shannon Christensen, 1 touchdown, 60 receiving yards on 3 catches, and an interception. Larissa Mikulek, 1 catch for 25 yards. And Kira Fisk, the player of the game, 159 yards on 8 catches and 4 touchdowns to help the Phoenix win this one. They decide a 53-yard touchdown catch by Zane Nelson. She also had the interception off Grace Francis. And then Stockwell Gregson with a 2-yard touchdown run. A good game on the ground, Vanna Berry. Some great plays. Hopefully she is able to come back healthy for next week after leaving with an injury. Currently on crutches on the sideline for the Raptors. Hoping for the best for her moving forward. And for the Phoenix, most of their team's healthy, and they go into a big matchup next week with the Oklahoma Rage.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge game, a huge performance needed on both sides of the ball for the Phoenix. But if anybody's up to the task, it should be Grace Francis and this offense, especially after the breakout performance of Kira Fisk.
It was a tied game, 14-14. Mikulek had the scoop and score on the 2-point conversion, and then 4 touchdowns in the second half scored by Iowa to send them to the victory here today. 30 unanswered to close out this contest. Final score from Kingston Stadium, 44-14. My broadcast partner, Liam Weber, our producer and camera operator, Gary French. I'm Tyler French, signing off here on Pardon My French Media. We want to thank everyone for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.